Welcome back. Just chatting to Keith Hillier about all the racing that's been happening around Australia. There's been lots of action. Hard to know where to look, Keith.
That's right, Bruce. Really warming up in South Australia. We had some action there yesterday, and in Brisbane too, and the best yet to come in both states. And
a little later in this segment, we'll be showing you the closing stages of the Kentucky Derby from Louisville run this morning, and also the 2,000 guineas out of Newmarket. Bart Cummings is a hard man to hold down. He's had some success at Morfordville before, and he had a terrific day yesterday.
Well, that's where he launched his career. He went home yesterday and he won the Oaks, and I think he won it with a very good filly, the former New Zealand filly, Our Tristolite.
There's a bit of a line here, because he got Let's Elope from the O'Sullivan stable, the very famous stable in New Zealand. Our Tristolite's also from that stable, and I remember you doing a radio interview with Dave O'Sullivan on 3 Years Out, where you asked Dave, could this be the next Horlicks? This was at the beginning of the spring, and she failed to fire, but she certainly is now firing. Do you remember that?
I do actually, Bruce. You've got a better memory than I gave you credit for. She's a big track filly, and she's a Flemington filly and a Morfordville filly, and she is going to be something special, I'm sure of that.
Keith, I thought it was such a stupid question at the time to ask somebody. That was what... Oh, no, I didn't. She's a really good horse, and yesterday she was parked on them coming to the turn and won like a top-class filly. Here's the Australasian Oaks.
Darkwood Beach shows the way as they come towards the turn now, and racing inside the 700 by 2 to Western Classic, who's gone up quickly. In third placing, tracking through, is Our Tristolite. La Folia still there fourth, but hard ridden, followed by Colt Figure. Back behind them, Orsay, and back behind those then came Prime Again, Suma Peace. The Penny held up on the rail, can't get any run, and then back behind those came Kingston Spirit, and wide out Prime Again. Western Classic goes to Darkwood Beach, and here comes Our Tristolite on the outside with a good finish. Our Tristolite and Western Classic at the 200. Our Tristolite swept past Western Classic. Darkwood Beach, and now the Penny charging home late, but it'll be too late. Now Tristolite dived away from them, and Our Tristolite's going to win the Group 1. Schweppes Australasian Oaks by about 2.5 Western Classic. Third, the Penny.
Well, such a soft win, and Keith, you would reckon that race over 2,000 metres, we have the other Oaks in Adelaide, the South Australian Oaks, in about a fortnight over 2,400. There shouldn't be a problem with the distance.
No, not at all. The eye-catching performance from those beaten was by the Penny, a New Zealand filly, trained by Murray Baker, the Phantom fame. I think it was only its second run, her second run since January. She'll improve.
Yeah, she ran 5th in the Oaks. You've got a couple of those still in your pocket, haven't you?
Pennies?
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
That's right. Well, Bart, I could say something flippant about Bart here, but I won't do that. That'll be awful. Bart spoke to us after the race, and he talked about Our Tristolite's performance and looking ahead towards the Oaks in the spring.
Oh, well, she biased a Tristan out of it. A mare, Tudor Light, was a champion mare and a race mare in New Zealand, and when she learns to settle like today, she can only get better and better, and I think that now she is coming off the pace, and in fast-run races she'll be a force to be reckoned with in the spring.
What's the training regime from here on in?
South Australian Oaks and then spell until the spring.
Get the feeling that Bart's fancying this filly for greater deeds in October, maybe Caulfield Cup or something like that.
Yeah, I also get the feeling that Bart's warming up. He also produced Raised in Kentucky, a 3-year-old who you have fallen in love with and finally delivered the goods at Morfordville yesterday.
Haven't we been waiting for a long time? He'd been very disappointing in Sydney after running second in the Derby here, and he did win yesterday. I thought Check That Style was probably went to the front a bit early, the Hayes horse, but it was a good solid win by Raised in Kentucky.
And still first on your Melbourne Cup list, naturally, Raised in Kentucky.
He's top of the table.
Is he?
He's
good.
Top of the table. He is my early Melbourne Cup tip, but he wasn't, I didn't think, over-impressive yesterday, but he's got the Bart shine, and I reckon he might win the Derby. Let's have a look at the Veuve Clicquot, a lead-up to the South Australian Derby.
Racing towards the 700-metre mark now, and Sir Frederick almost joined by Private Sale, but it's under pressure and now starts to give a bit of ground. Going after them solidly, Check That Style with a good run, and behind them sort of on a Raising Kentucky, Centreways 2 away. Game Giddy on its inside finishing with it. Private Sale called it a day, and Avery Rose well back. Back behind them Cryptographic, and then Provoke from MacArthur Park Jumungian. Out wide Check That Style raced up with Slick Brother. Sir Frederick the first under extreme pressure. Racing greenly behind a group of them away. Now ahead of it was Raising Kentucky. Game Giddy running up behind them looking for run, and down the outside Provoke as they race him with 150 to go. Raising Kentucky reached the lead. Here's Provoke down the outside, and Check That Style. Raising Kentucky in front. Double to Bart. Raising Kentucky wins it a long neck. Second Provoke. Third Check That Style. Game Ginty.
Yes, a derby next week, and those horses should be very much a part of the action.
I'm sure they will be. A double to Bart, as Ron Pabst mentioned, and a double to Stephen King, who rode both well.
He's an outstanding jockey, no question about that. Interestingly, as we go to Doomben yesterday, Bucks Pride successful in the Robbins Kitchen Cup. 3 recent Group 1 winners in this. Skating had won 2 Group 1 races in Sydney, including the Doncaster. Mukta, the Oakley Plate, and Sublimated won the Galaxy, and between them they couldn't run a drum.
No, Skating, you'll see her caught wide, she was trapped wide, and as Mick Dittman said, beaten at the 600 metres, so she started 2-1 favourite, so a costly flop for punters there.
It was a very good performance by Bucks Pride, who's something of a Doomben 1200 metre specialist. He'd won both his last 2 starts at that journey at the track. His last start was at Eagle Farm when he ran a very good second. Let's have a look at him yesterday, the grey sweeping home to victory.
Racing, Mukhtar began quickly near the inside. He's got his nose in front early. Chortle and Skating going fast. Bucks Pride began nicely and Don't Look Now nice and handy. Barossa Boy getting back with Word of a Night, and Meg's Ego and Sublimate back towards the rear. Mukhtar's the leader, steadied as they race onto the first bend. They've got 850 metres to go. Mukhtar by a length and a half on Chortle. Don't Look Now. Skating is 4th on the outside, followed by Friends Venture. Barossa Boy improving on the inside of Bucks Pride, followed by Word of a Night, then Sublimate, and Meg's Ego's last. Coming down the side, there doesn't look to be a great deal of speed on. Mukhtar in front, 600 metres out, leads by a length on Chortle. Skating is a length away 3rd, then Don't Look Now. Friends Venture improving in the centre, followed by Barossa Boy. Wild of a Night is back at the rear of the field as they come towards the corner with Sublimate and Meg's Ego. Straightening up now, 350 metres to go. Mukhtar just in front of Chortle. Skating a little deep as they straighten up, but given full boy, she's coming after them. So is Friends Venture on the outside, and Bucks Pride is joining in. Friends Venture might be the one. He's moved up to poke his nose in front of Mukhtar. On the outside, Bucks Pride is coming home brilliantly. Bucks Pride went to Friends Venture, poked his nose in front, and he's edging away close to home. Bucks Pride first, Friends Venture second, Barossa Boy 3rd.
He was very impressive, no doubt about that, and some of the beaten contenders looked disappointing, though. Skating, it wasn't, well, Mick got caught a bit, it wasn't one of his best rides.
No, it wasn't, and when you consider, Bruce, that Bucks Pride will drop 7 kilos going into the Doomben 10,000, well, how could you expect any of those who finished behind him yesterday to have any chance, really?
And one man who's not too happy about that in a strange sort of way is the jockey Shane Scriven, because it means, Keith, he can't ride the horse, as he told us after the race.
It was. They went very quick. You know, usually he's one of the pacemakers, but when they went so quick, he got back a little bit. But from the 600, he ran into the race and was always going to win from that point.
Quality field too today.
They're top horses. You know, you add up their prize money, there's a few $1 million there. He's not in that bracket, but he may be headed that way.
Now, unfortunately for you, you're going to have to give up the ride in the 10,000.
I do, yes. Weight for age was easy enough for me today, but he dropped 7 kilos back to 50 for the 10,000. That's beyond me. So there'll be some lucky jockey out there.
Yes, prophetic words by Shane there.
That lucky jockey, incidentally, might just be Mick Dittman. If he doesn't go to Santa Anita, he'll probably ride that horse.
OK, well, Mick will be pretty happy to do that. There was one other, we're not going to show this race, but what about Golden Sword, who there are enormous raps on from the John Marr stable? He'd had a slight setback in Sydney, and yesterday was beaten at 1,200 metres. Was he, I didn't see the race, I was at the football, was he disappointing?
Well, he had a skin complaint in Sydney. I think he spent the first half of the race scratching it. He stormed home, Bruce. Don't give him away. He's a good horse.
He is a very, very good horse. There's no question about that. Is Headcutter a good horse? They took the blinkers off, didn't they, yesterday, Gerald Ryan? Is he a good horse? He won the St Leger at Flemington.
He was originally in the David Hayes stable, and that was an old David Hayes trick too, taking off the blinkers. He looked a very good horse, and he's bound now, firstly, for the Adelaide Cup. Bear in mind that Sub-Zero, who won the St Leger, no, finished second in the St Leger to Darksar.
Yeah.
Last year won the Adelaide Cup and then the Melbourne Cup, and that's the same path ahead of Headcutter.
Well, Gooners Lane did the same double. We're going back a bit, St Leger, Melbourne Cup. Shiver's Revenge and Double Gin also came through the St Leger and went on to be very good horses. So this bloke, the form line is excellent.
So he's obviously on your list as well.
Oh, you'd have, well, I don't know if he's a 2-miler.
All right, leave him.
He's a 2800
to be considered if available.
What about Gregor yesterday? Did he get caught in front too early on Pella Symphony? You notice he just keeps looking around in the straight.
Yes, Pella Symphony pulled early. Pella Symphony would have been a special on a wet track, but that didn't occur. I couldn't really blame Hall. He rode a double, and he's my mate, so I'm not going to.
Fair enough. OK, a vested interest. Here we go to the St Leger Stakes.
as they come around the home turn. They're followed closely over on the outside by Wintercoat, who's joining in 2 lengths away. Stress Related further back as Long Time No See and Strike High as they straighten up in the St Ledger with about 450 left to go, and Pella Symphony on the outside has taken a slight leader. The other option boxing on pretty well. This leader looks to be going well though. Greg Hall had a good look over his shoulder to see where the others were. He's got a lap of horse under him, and he goes for the whip now and goes for home on Pella Symphony. It's drawn out 2 lengths to Strike High is running a bold race second, and they're followed further back in the field down the outside by Head Cutter. Pella Symphony is stopping. Head Cutter is flying down the outside. Head Cutter is grabbing Pella Symphony. Head Cutter going home the better. Head Cutter won the St Ledger. Head Cutter in the Cadbury St Ledger from Pella Symphony. Strike High is third, followed by a Wintercoat.
Why does a horse switch its tail like Pella Symphony did?
Don Quixote would have been proud of that. I've not seen one going at such a swirl of you.
Certainly, having Gerald Ryan having a terrific run. Ironically, he didn't have a ride in his 18 years as a jockey in the Melbourne Cup, and he's got 3 horses, Dance the Day Away, Head Cutter, and one that escapes the memory that might be running in the Cup this year. He also had a terrific day with Crystal Hawk, who's a massive horse, isn't he? And Picnicker won in Adelaide.
That's right, Kalinsky's the memory escaper there, and Gerald Ryan is now in the top 4 on the trainers list in this state, Bruce, so he's going well.
He certainly is going well. The Western Australian Derby yesterday run at Ascot worth $130,000. The favourite was Beaujolais Boy. He'd run 3rd behind Dance the Day Away in the Australian Derby, and well, Keith, this was a good performance. He's now won his last 3, 6 out of 14, and this race was run in driving rain, and the favourite had it won a long way from home.
Now Sir Winton let go, Chance straight the middle, Rudland's off on a foggy night, Anniversary Model going around Dr. Gold, and then Sir Vol, Rainbow Alley, Herald Heights is well back with Board Rider, on the turn in the Derby, and Beaujolais Boy, O'Donnell said go, and the favourite has gone to the lead. Beaujolais Boy got away from Bayside, a foggy night and Anniversary Model, and then Dr. Gold at the 100, and Beaujolais Boy clear, Anniversary Model is finishing quickly, and then came Dr. Gold, but Beaujolais Boy, a battler's derby. O'Donnell on Beaujolais Boy by 2 lengths to Anniversary Model. Dr. Gold got up for 3rd.
Sean O'Donnell, the jockey there, his wife Leah had a little boy during the week, Mitchell, so it's been a great week for them, hasn't it?
It was a nice touch, and beyond our shores, another derby.
Yes, the Kentucky Derby run this morning at Louisville. Well, certainly the most famous race in America. They say it's the most exciting 2 minutes in American sport. Well, once again, the favourite's been beaten, Keith. There hasn't been a favourite since Spectacular Bid in 1979. The favourite this year was Prairie Bayou, but a horse called Sea Hero. It had pretty good form going and gets up on the fence to win. I haven't been to one. Have you?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen this one either, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I did this morning. Let's have a look. Here's Sea Hero getting up on the fence to win the Derby.
Now on the outside, Personal Hope puts ahead in front. Storm Tower on the inside is second. Corby is right there. And as you can see, Diazzo swings to the outside, and Union City with the green cap joining the leaders at the top of the stretch. It's Personal Hope, and he hasn't been asked for his big run. And here comes Sea Hero, charging through on the inside with Jerry Bailey. And down the stretch they come. Sea Hero on the inside up to take the lead. From between horses, that's Personal Hope. On the far outside, Prairie Bayou is flying, and Wild Gale is right there. But with 70 yards to go, it's Sea Hero, and Matt Miller gets his Kentucky Derby by 2.5 lengths.
130,000 usually at Kentucky, Louisville, at Churchill Downs for the race, and terrific performance.
Great ride by Jerry Bailey. He's an international standard jockey. He's ridden in Japan. I think he rode in the Japan Cup this year. Congratulations, Bruce, on your win with Toot and Whistle at Sandown on Wednesday. You've been asking direct and incisive questions this morning. I want to put one to you right now. Did you or did you not get turfed out of the members at Sandown for not wearing a tie on Wednesday?
I did, actually. Isn't it ridiculous? It's the best dressed I've been for years.
Really?
You've got good information, Keith. Thanks very much for that. Keith, well, I'm not finished with you just yet. Oh. We're going to Newmarket for the 2,000 guineas. This is a racehorse, Symphonic. He could be the best horse for the last 20 years. Have a look at him win the 2,000 guineas overnight.
Here comes Symphonic with a great burst of speed, and he is indeed the wonder horse we thought he was. Pat Edry has hardly done anything on him. He's streaked home. He's 5 lengths clear, and it's Symphonic. Symphonic goes past the post, 4 lengths clear of Barathea.
He's a great horse. Gee, you've upset me about that Toot and Whistle. He's not on my Melbourne Cup list, by the way.
Isn't he? He's a good horse. He's racing next.
Yeah, in Adelaide. No, Symphonic, Keith, they think he might be a super horse. He's unbeaten and started odds-on favourite and won the 2,000 guineas by about 4 lengths.
Looks the best young horse in Europe, doesn't he? Incidentally, I think if you wear that tie, the races, they refuse to let you in a go.
When's Max Presnell coming back, Keith? You having a holiday shortly?
I am, actually.
Good on you, Keith. Good luck. We'll take a break. Netball after this. Grand final last night, talking to 2 of the women involved.